Welcome to the Jump Ball Show. I'm your host, Mo DeKeel, former video coordinator with the Clippers, Spurs, Team Australia, write for Bleacher Report, podcast for The Athletic, stream here on Twitch with you fine folks. Simple rule here. If you're going to jump in the chat, we encourage it. We love it. We encourage discussions. We encourage going back and forth, kind of debating everything, whatever. Just don't be a jerk. And you know when you're being a jerk. You know when you're crossing a line. If you make things personal and whatnot, definitely a problem. All of that goes into it. Except the Knicks. You can make fun of the Knicks every chance you get. You can beat up on Hellboy every opportunity. Just kidding, of course. We are today doing the Western Conference win totals. We did the Eastern Conference yesterday. If you missed it, you can go check it out on video on demand on Twitch. I also have it up on YouTube on my YouTube page. And hey, we're going to do the Western today. And the most important thing, just so you understand, we're going to use the DraftKings and FanDuel number. Because, again, a lot of interesting ones in this one in terms of just their differences of opinion. And then I think the other thing that I find fascinating is this is a very, very difficult Western Conference. Right? There's probably going to be a lot where I'm like, stay away. Or, there's going to be a lot of I'm not sure about any of these. I don't know how confident I am on a lot of these picks. So we'll go through it. We'll run through it and figure it out. But I feel more confident about my Eastern Conference win totals than my Western Conference picks here. Mainly just because I think the West is an absolute bloodbath. I think it's going to be a brutal, brutal conference this year. And from there, it's just hard to project so many things. One quick note as well. Gamble responsibly. Don't gamble with money that you can't be gambling with. Gamble with the idea that you're probably going to lose the money. So just, again, gamble responsibly. Let's not get too crazy and, lose your home or anything like that. Be careful. I don't want to encourage that behavior, but this is just fun stuff. We will go back at some point, maybe in January and see how my win totals are doing. Because by then we might just be like, wow, Mo's way off already. So we'll find out. But let's go ahead and just start right away. Let's just go right to Dallas. Let me move this so you guys don't see all my stuff behind me. I'm hoping this is big enough for everybody. Well, you can't see that. The Mavs, who literally just finished playing against Real Madrid in the preseason game, finished last year 38-44. FanDuel and DraftKings have the same win total, 44.5. So they're saying 7 wins better than 38, 7 wins better than last season to go with the over, or are they going to be just as bad? FanDuel is betting on the over. That's why they have the number at minus 128. The under, almost even, a little bit over even, 104. DraftKings has it the other way around. The over is at 100. They're just calling it even. The under, minus 120. They think pretty low of them. It's interesting with them. I think I like the moves they made in the draft. I don't think they've really improved their defense. And I have concerns about their defense, but this is going to be a team that's going to just absolutely try to outscore everybody. I don't have a lot of concerns about their offense. Yes, it can be too Luka heavy. It can be too isolation heavy with all that stuff. It'll be interesting to see how it plays with Kyrie. Kyrie's trying to, when he got there, they were playing faster. He was trying to get them to play more in transition and whatnot. And that's something that Luka didn't do very often. And I think that helped the team a bit. So I think you're going to see a mix of that. So I think they're going to be a really, really good offensive team. Derek, thank you for subscribing, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. 23-month streak. I appreciate you, brother. Derek. I don't think Kid's on the hot seat. I don't think he gets fired this year. Maybe in the offseason. But I don't think he gets fired this season. would be my view of it. I don't think that's going to be much of a bet there in that sense. I think this team, I think, so like when you just think about it, like 44.5 wins. So like, can they get to 45 wins? Play in the Eastern Conference 30 times. The East is already, I think, a worse off conference. So there's a lot of wins there for them, right? So like, I think they probably go 20-10 against the East. Can they go 25? Can they get 25 wins against the Western Conference? I'm inclined to think yes. I'm inclined to take the over. I just think the offense. I think I think they're going to have more regular season success than playoff success again because their offense is going to be so high octane. And again, all of this is also assuming good health. There's only like one or two teams where we're just going to be like, we have to look at their health. But assuming good health across the board, I think Kyrie and Luka offensively is too much. I think Seth Curry off the bench as a shooter is strong for them. We got to see what happens with Jalen Hardy and Josh Green and what those kids can bring to the table in all that sense. I'm concerned about them defensively. I don't think they will be very good defensively. But with that, I'm going to take the over, but I'm going to do it kind of like I'm not very confident with that. And if I'm going to do the over, I might as well do it with DraftKings and get basically the even odds. If I bet 100, I get 100. With FanDuel, if I bet 100 and they get the over, I get 80 back. It's an extra $20. Grant Williams helps. Exum helps as well. I just don't think it elevates them that much, right? Like in terms of where they rank in the West. But I think, again, just on a nightly basis, this is a very difficult team to cover. You know, he is a wild card. I think he'll be. You guys can come back and yell at me later, but I think he will probably be okay. All right, so let's go over to Denver, the defending champs. 53-29. FanDuel has them at the over-under at 52.5, minus 110, minus 110 either way. DraftKings has it at 53.5, over 105, under minus 125. Look, they lost they lost Bruce Brown. I think Christian Brown slides in. You got to hope that Michael Porter Jr. is pretty healthy. It is a top-heavy roster. But here's the thing. This is the most important thing here. I don't think they're going all out this year. Not in the regular season. I think they're going to kind of ease their way into the regular season. I do not think they will be the one seed in the West. And again, it's just so massive. It's so tough with everything like that. Thinking that they're going to get 53 or 54 wins it has nothing to do with the team, right? Like, I think the team's very good. If they want to push for it, I would have no question bang the over. But because I'm a little bit afraid of the fact that I think they're going to have a little bit of a Jokic is going to be a little bit chill, not press too hard, right? I don't think he's gunning for MVP. He's already got that. I mean, Jamal Murray's going to go hard. He's going to try to become an all-star player and an all-NBA player. So I think that's a we'll get to that, Gatto, when we go through the teams. I just think the West is so stacked, and I think they're just going to be nights where they're going to take it easy and have some losses. So, I mean, you can kind of have fun with this, too, a little bit, right? You can do the under on FanDuel and the over on DraftKings, right? Don't know if you got the money for it or whatnot. I know you're hedging your bets here a little bit, but the odds, 105, you're getting an extra $5 if you bet 100. It's interesting there. I'm probably leaning under, and I'm gonna just take the FanDuel under. And again, it's not because I don't think this team's talented. Wrong color. I don't think it's not about whether I think a team's talented or not. I just think the championship malaise is going to be a little bit chill, and then the West just nightly is so tough. So I don't think they're going to be the number one team in the Western Conference. So with that, I don't think they get to 53 wins. All right. And I believe they have the highest win total in the NBA. In the West. In the West, excuse me. All right, let's go to the Warriors. 44-38. FanDuel has it at 48.5. Plus 100 for the over, minus 122 for the under. DraftKings, 47.5. Minus 120 on the over, plus 100 on the under. A couple of things. Doesn't sound like Draymond's going to be ready for the start of the regular season, right? So we already have injury stuff there. I think the Warriors are slept on in a large respect overall. I think the Chris Paul pickup, after it took me a while to adjust to the fact that Chris Paul's a Warrior, I think he's going to be great for them. Another guy that can get Steph Curry and Klay Thompson shots, not a bad deal. Really not a bad deal. Like if you think about it, last year, they're playmakers, guys you really trusted to create and like make things happen. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jordan Poole. And did you really trust Jordan Poole? Yeah, Bip, we could say that about every team. How screwed are the Mavs if Luka's out 20 games? The Nuggets, no Jokic for 20 games. They're screwed. So every team has that. Like we can sit there and debate that stuff, but I think the other thing too was they had that really extended stuff towards the end of the season when they had Wiggins was out for a while. For me, I think this team is better than 44-38. I don't know if they're 5 wins better. Right? And I still think the concern I have is them resting guys still and whatnot. So I can see them I think they're better than their record shows. And I think this year they'll be better than their record. But I think they're going to take a lot of nights off. So I'm actually going to take the under at 100. I'm not crazy about it. I'm not going ballistic. I'm not crazy confident about it. But I think I'm taking the under there. Because, again, CP's old, too. Clay's coming back and has that stuff. Dre's already starting out with an injury. I just think this is a team that will probably be, right in that mix. I mean, I could see them winning, Cobb, it's your opinion. I could see them winning 49 games if everything breaks right. But still, that's tough. Even at 48, I still think that's kind of tough. And I think, again, a lot of load management and stuff that they'll be doing will get in the way of that. So that's where I'm at with the Warriors. And I'm really high on them. That's the other thing that's funny about it. All right, the Houston Rockets. This one's fun. 22-60 last year. Signed Dylan Brooks. Signed Fred VanVleet. Jeff Green. Jabari Smith looks really good. Ime Udoka's the new coach. You have Jalen Green. You have a lot of young talent. Alperen Şengün. You got a lot of talent on this team. Both DraftKings and FanDuel have it at 31.5. DraftKings has the over at, FanDuel has the over at minus 115, the under at minus 105. DraftKings has the over minus 120 and the under at 105, plus 105. The stuff I find funny about it is they're banging the over, right? That they're assuming the over because they're giving that, giving themselves better odds on that. So the question is this team 10 wins better with Fred VanVleet, with Dylan Brooks, with Jeff Green, with Ime Udoka as the coach, in a stacked Western Conference? Another year of Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, a name I forgot to mention as well, Jalen Green, all those guys. For me, it's an easy under. A lot of people are saying like they're going to be over and whatnot. 31.5 is too much. Thinking they're going to be a 10-win team better is tough. I just have a hard time with that. And so for me, I'm going to take the under, and because the odds are just different, I'm going to take the DraftKings one. plus 105. Give me an extra $5. And I'm excited to see what they do. I really want to see them unleash Jabari Smith. I really want to see them unleash Jabari Smith. I just don't know where they're going to knock out teams and where they're going to get wins in the West on a regular basis. And I think that's the deal. They can, J-Mac. I just don't think it's still a 10-win jump. I might be way wrong. Maybe I'm absolutely wrong. But yeah. I mean, I think Dallas is better than them, Zach. I think, San Antonio and them are comparable. They're probably better than San Antonio, but it's not much. All right, here are the Clippers. 44-38. FanDuel has it at 45.5, minus 128 for the over. The under 104. DraftKings, 46.5. Over 110, under 110. So are they 2 wins better? If you think that's the case, you go with FanDuel. Go with the over. DraftKings, 3 wins better. Still same odds. This is a complete stay away for me with this team. Not just the health. We know all of the health. We know all of the health issues. But as Hudson's saying, the Harden situation kind of makes it difficult. You don't know what this team's going to be. By the way, even if they get Harden, I don't understand how that team plays. Like, I don't know the style of basketball they want to play. Right? Like, Harden's not a guy that's going to enjoy Kawhi holding up and mid-post ISOs. I think there's a lot of issues with that team. I just don't like the mix of Harden with this group. I don't think he's a good fit for them. I'm kind of shocked they're all into it. I just don't think it works well for them. But this is a clear stay away for me. Too many unknowns with this team. Health, everything that goes into it. We're always kind of trying to figure out, is Kawhi going to play, whatnot, and all that stuff. What's the story with their young guys? Are they going to give their young guys a chance? It's always kind of difficult. For me, I mean, I can see a case where they have a great season and actually win the West. Could also see them finishing in the play-in tournament. Nothing to do with Harden. Right, Shane, right. Like, that's a scary proposition with all of that stuff. All right, let's go to the Lakers. 43-9. The FanDuel and DraftKings have the same win total, 47.5. FanDuel has it over minus 104, under minus 118. DraftKings, same, 110. I think this one's pretty obvious. I think when you saw the way this team played after their trades, I think they're legitimately a good team. They understand how they want to play, how they want to set up. I think they're short a big man, but I think, again, that's issues for the playoffs and not an issue in the regular season. We're always going to be worried about health with AD and LeBron, but you also got to remember, LeBron was playing basically on 1.5 feet. Or 1.5 legs, I guess I should say. With the injury with his foot down the stretch, they were struggling. When you see what they kind of did after the trade, though, defense got much better. The offense got smoother. Austin Reeves is probably going to be better after playing with Team USA and getting that experience in that run. I look at this team, and I honestly think the over. 47.5. We're talking about, 5 more wins? If this team was together all last season from the start, this team is probably about a 48-win team. So I think that, for me, is enough for me to go with the over. And I'm going to take the DraftKings one just because I get a couple more points out of that. Cobb, I mean, let's look at his numbers. Let me switch this over. Let's look at what he's played the last few years, because his injuries are piling up. That's a fair question. That is a fair question. You guys, and same with AD. With the number of games played. But I just think they're a better talented team. than they were last year, and I think that matters. What did they play last year? Let's see. Come on, computer. 80, 56, LeBron 55, right? And they won 43 games. Like, I think you're going to get more out of them. I think they're a better team than they were last year. I think seeing a 5-win improvement is something I think you can do. Second year for Darvin Ham. The defense is going to be a little bit better. I like some of the guys. Max Christie's looked good in preseason. I kind of like what they're doing. For sure, but so it was stacked last year, guys. Right? I mean, this is just a different team. So for me, I'm willing to take the over on them. Gonna do it at FanDuel minus 104. I think that's a fair bet right there. All right. Let's go to the Grizzlies. Ja Morant suspended 25 games. Last year they finished 51-31. Same draft odds. FanDuel and DraftKings. 45.5 wins. Same number. FanDuel, the over, minus 115. The under, minus 105. DraftKings, minus 120 for the over. Even odds on the under. For me, it's hard, right? Like, you lose Dylan Brooks. You get Marcus Smart. You also lost Tyus Jones, and that's a big one there. The problems with this team, I just think 25 games, I think they got a lot of questions. What's Desmond Bane going to be? I think their whole view of everything is, you got to just hold on till Ja gets there, and then from there you got to bounce. But you got to hope he comes back and has like an unbelievable bounce back, right? Again, I get scared when there are too many unknowns. So for me, it's a stay away. You can call me a coward. That's fine. But this is just too much of a question mark. I need Jaren Jackson Jr. to show me a leap offensively. And I wasn't impressed with what he did at the Team USA. I think they need more shooting. I think even when Ja comes back and you're playing Ja, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, and Steven Adams, you have 3 non-shooters on the floor. I think there's just a lot of questions. I mean, 5 games is not enough. I mean, that's not enough. Gonna need a lot more. That's a fair one, Hudson. That's assuming they go just 1 game below 500, right, without Ja. I don't know if they can. We've made too much of how well this team has played without Ja Morant. Like, we've gone too far with that. And now with no Tyus Jones, like, I have questions. Like, where's your backup point guard? What's your I'm not confident in this team to reach the heights that they hit last year. And I like the Smart pickup, but it's still a challenge for them. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. But because of that, I can't call it. Vegas seems to think they're going to hit the over. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, Minnesota. Good God. 42-40. Pretty much brought everybody back. FanDuel has their number and DraftKings, same number, 44.5. Same exact odds, minus 110, over, under, both sites. Doesn't matter where you bet. This one's a little bit interesting because I could see a scenario where they end up trading Cat if things aren't working out. I mean, I think you guys are already jumping in. I'm on the over. I think they only got 29 games from Cat. They've 42-40. I think they can get 3 more wins if the team's healthy. I think this is a team that does better this season. I think they played better down the stretch. Not a lot of people are giving them a ton of credit for that. And I think that's an important aspect to consider as we watch this team going forward. And I think these are the things to watch for with them. Question is Anthony Edwards going to take the leap that we're all predicting after Team USA? Is there going to be enough spacing on the floor when Cat and Gobert are on the floor together? Are they going to defend well enough together? There's so many questions there. Are they going to clog the lanes for Anthony Edwards drives? I don't know, but I just still think this team is figuring out who they are. I love having Mike Conley for the full season. I think that's smart for them. I just think they will be better than they were last season, which means they're going to be better than 42-40. It's not too high of a win total at asking for 45 wins. It's just 3 more wins. I'm good with that. Going to go ahead and give them the over there. Bet it wherever you'd like. All right, New Orleans. Oh, boy. When they had Zion, Ingram, and CJ together, they were balling. They were like a 2 seed in the West. They were stacked, right? Same, when they got hurt, problem. Finished the season last year 42-40. I think Willie Green's a really good coach. When you look at what he's had to deal with and still kind of produces for this team, it's solid. FanDuel and DraftKings have it at 44.5. The FanDuel odds -106 for the over, -114 for the under. DraftKings has it at -110, either one. This is a clear stay away. We just don't know what's going to happen with Zion. I just can't. It's not even about trades. I see Hudson already making the prediction that they're going to trade him. I don't know if they're going to trade him. But this team just if Zion's healthy, this team, if I had a guarantee Zion would have been healthy all year, it's an easy over for me. Easy. No problem. Whatever. No problem. But because when's that going to happen? We only got 1 year where he was fairly healthy. I just stay the hell away. I hope he's healthy because it's fun. And New Orleans is fun when they're rolling. I hope it's healthy, but this is just to stay the hell away from me. You just purely on health reasons, you can't do it. All right. Before we go to our next ones, I'm going to run a quick ad. And we'll be back after that. Whew. Folks, if you're not seeing an ad, just chill, hang in there for 30 seconds. We're gonna chill and regroup here for a second. We will talk Wemby at the end of this game. All right. I believe we are back, folks. I hope you're great. If you saw an ad, let me know what ad you saw. I'm always curious. What are they advertising on here? Let's give it a second because it's usually lagging after the ad, right? Like there was no lag before. I can kind of see it lagging now. Let's let the computer and the internet work through its troubles here as we get past this lag scenario. Come on. And yes, the Wemby Chet rivalry is kind of fun. Got an insurance ad, Cobb. Okay. Car insurance, health insurance, bundle, flow. They're trying to set me up for failure, Hellboy. Trying to set me up for failure. But I won't let them. I will not let them. I won't be defeated. All right. But we got to kind of get moving. Hopefully the lag clears up. The audio's still good when you hear the lag, though, right? Going to need some confirmation before we get going. Oh, that's great, Bip. Give you a fun one. Yeah, I'm sure my fiance feels that way too. All right, well, let's go back to the basketball because nobody cares about this. All right, now we're at the Thunder. Everybody's favorite darling team, sexy team, everything with that, right? Finished 40-42 last year. FanDuel and DraftKings have the same number, 44.5. FanDuel has the over at 100, under at minus 122. DraftKings minus 105, under minus 115. I'm going to be honest with you. As good as this team is, and with Chet Holmgren, I'm taking the under. I know they're stacked talent-wise. Still a very young team. Still need to figure out how these things work, how the moving parts work. And I'm excited to watch this team a ton, but I just can't see in a Western Conference, I don't see them getting 45 wins. Because that's what they're asking. 45 wins. In a stacked Western Conference, I think this team is closer to 42, 43 wins. It's going to be tight. I'm taking the under. I'm taking it from DraftKings. And it's going to be a while till they figure this stuff out. Right? And Shea's amazing and all of that stuff. If they're in the top 3 in the West, we're going to talk about Shea for MVP. Mark Dagnott for Coach of the Year, all that stuff. But they are just still on their progression. And I think the organization knows that. You hear a lot of people, Bill Simmons all the time is like, the Thunder need to do something. They need to try to win right now. They're in a position to make a move. People were always saying they should trade for Dame. Hey, they should trade for Drew after that. The organization themselves, I think, wants to see what they are before they make that move. I think they make an all-in move next summer. And I think that's when we see a massive leap from them. But I think this year they make it to the play-in tournament. Maybe sneak in straight into the playoffs as a 6 seed. But again, the West is just so freaking tough. And that's kind of what makes it so hard kind of predicting these over-unders. Because this is who they're dealing with 52 games a year. But that makes sense, Gatto, because you can still be a 500 win team and have the Coach of the Year. Just because Coach of the Year is such a weird award, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, but it's always based on like your expectations. Problem is, there are high expectations right now. That's really the issue. There are high expectations for the Thunder. But let's see where we're at going forward. Phoenix Suns, 45-37 last year. Obviously made the big KD trade. Got Bradley Beal in the offseason. Got rid of Ayton. Got rid of Chris Paul. Brought in Yusuf Nurkic. I loved a lot of their minimum signings. Yuta Watanabe, Gates, Desana Gates, Diop. Like, I like the guy that they got. I like their stuff. The win total's interesting. FanDuel, 52.5. DraftKings, 51.5. The FanDuel odds, minus 110 either way. DraftKings, minus 120 for the over, 100 for the under. So DraftKings is like, yo, this team's hitting the over. I got a lot of questions about their center position. I think Yusuf Nurkic is done. I think, and I'm not an Ayton guy, but I think they got too little back for Ayton. I like Nasir Little, but I think they have a massive hole at the 5 spot. I think it's a very difficult position there. It's challenging in that sense. And if you guys were questioning LeBron's health, you got to start looking at KD's. KD's missed a lot of games lately. A lot of games. Booker's missed games as well. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there. For me, I'm taking the under. I like that. I'm taking it from DraftKings, even though I one less game. But them being, for me, I think they're probably about a 48-49 win game. I don't know if anybody's winning 50 games this season in the West. I think the West is going to be a bloodbath. I think we'll get 1 or 2. Probably say nobody is a bit extreme. But, like, that's hard. It's going to be a hard conference. And you're going to have to feast on the East and then go from there. I mean, Eric Gordon's not even a 1, Hudson, so that's a tough one. All right, here are the Portland Trailblazers. 33 and 49 last year. The number is 28.5 from both odds. And minus 110 both ways from both platforms. Right? And I think are they, without Dame, 5 wins worse? So here's the thing. They got a lot of talent on that team. I'm all in on Scoot. I think Scoot's great. I think he's going to be awesome. I'm not as high on Shaedon Sharpe as everybody else. I'm indifferent on Anthony Simons. I think he's fine. They overpaid for Jeremy Grant, but he can play. The Matisse Thybulle, okay, whatever. Ayton is interesting. I think Ayton's going to put massive numbers up, and the team's not going to win. I don't think they want to win. They shouldn't, at least. They should be tanking again and try to be bad again. So for me, I'm going to take the under. I think there's going to be some teams in the West that are going to be pretty bad. I think they're one of them. The Sacramento Kings, 48 and 34 last season. FanDuel, 44.5, and DraftKings, same number, 44.5. The FanDuel odds, minus 114 on the over, minus 106 on the under. Minus 110 either way on DraftKings. I kind of feel like it's going to be a step back year for the Kings, but that line is too low. 44.5 is low. I think, if you're going to take the over, you take it from DraftKings. You do do it at 110. It'll be close, but like 44.5 is just like I don't think they're 3 wins worse than they were last season. They got better. The shooter they got from Europe is unbelievable. The question with them, the thing that they got away with last year is they had really good injury luck. Exactly, Bip. And I think that's the thing is can they stay that healthy again? It's a hard if. I think Keegan's the key for them. I think they need to he needs to be develop into a third option for them, give their offense a different dynamic. But I think I'm going to go with the over and do it at DraftKings. But it's not one I'm like, bang this over. And now we're at the San Antonio Spurs. 22 and 60 last season. FanDuel 28.5. DraftKings 29.5. Minus 110 all around. Guys, this is an easy under for me. This team, even with Wemby, I don't think they're 7 games better than they were last season. For me, it's an under just because, again, they're going to try to figure out what works around Wembanyama, and they're trying to figure all that stuff out. I think it's going to be interesting. They got young talent around them. I like Vassell. I like I didn't mind the contract he got, although it sounds like a lot for him with the extension. Trey Jones, I think they can upgrade at point guard. They're a team I would like to go after Malcolm Brogdon to kind of provide more stability to that roster that they probably won't. But for me, it's a pretty easy under. If I'm going to do the under, I'm going to do DraftKings, though, because I get an extra game, a little more leeway. I think they're probably 5 wins better. It's okay, Demo. You can watch it live, or you can go catch it on YouTube when I put it up, which I'll try to do quicker this time around than I did with yesterday's show. And, we're going to touch on a couple of teams, and then we're going to come back and talk about Victor and Chet. I didn't finish the game. I'm actually still going through it right now. But there was stuff I liked from both guys. All right, last team, Utah Jazz. 37 and 45 last year. The win total is 35.5 for both platforms. Minus 132 for the over at FanDuel. 108 for the under, minus 115 for the over. With DraftKings, minus 105 for the under. For me, I'm banging the under. I think they got a lot of great stuff last season. They're good. I think this is one of those teams that I just don't think they're going to have the success they had last year. I think I look at them and I wonder really who's going to be their playmakers. Like Taylor Horton-Tucker did a great job after the Connolly trade. What's his name? Shoot, I can't remember his name. Chris Dunn did well for them as well, but I just don't see a scenario where it's funny to me that Vegas has the pushing the over odds. I'm taking the under. I'm taking it with FanDuel at 108. To me, I just don't know if they really have that. They burst on the scene last year. I don't see really if they've improved that much, and I think it's easier for them to be 2 games worse than they were last. I mean, it's a 1.5 game difference. I could see them losing more games this year than last. It's that simple. I don't think they got John Collins. I'm not sure it depends how you feel about Collins, about how impactful he might be. I just don't know where they get the playmaking from. For me, and that's kind of why I look at them and I just go, I just don't see it, man. I'm taking the under. So that's it for the win totals, really. Let's kind of review it here. Under on the Jazz, under on the Spurs, over on the Kings, under on Portland, under on Phoenix. That one might come back to bite me in the ass. Under on the Thunder. Stay away from New Orleans. Over on Minnesota. Stay away from Memphis. Over on the Lakers. Again, that one could hurt me later. Clippers, stay away. Under on the Rockets. Under on the Warriors. Under on the Nuggets. This one, you know what? Just by default, they actually might end up. You might want to take the over. And the Mavs. Over on the Mavs. 44.5. I don't know how the math adds up and whatnot. But we'll have to figure that stuff out. But man, it's going to be a fun season in the West. And we got a taste of just a little duel between Chet and Wembanyama yesterday. Not fully done right now, but just kind of seeing the stuff from Wemby. I just think him defensively, he has an impact already on the floor. I think offensively is going to take a while. Well, Belroy, go to my Twitter account because I've been kind of putting up clips there. They didn't match up against each other very often, so that was a little bit annoying. The few times they did, I felt like Victor got the best of Chet, but Chet didn't have a chance to go at Wemby on the other end. So maybe an incomplete. Because he's reliable and dependable. I don't know. I'm working with you, Demo, on the nicknames. But overall, I just think you can see it there with Victor. He has a willingness to pass. He does a good job kind of finding guys. There are things with his game I want to fix and see how that goes, but still, going to be a lot of fun. How rare do I think it'll be? I think that's cyclical. I think every year we're going to know if we can have that or not. Like this year, just the West is so stacked. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if Boston or Milwaukee, reels off a massive run, and because they get to feast against a lot of the worst teams in the East, and they have a good record against the West, they could probably get there. But it's still going to be tough. Oh, Demo, that's what they want to do. Because, if he's out on the perimeter and he defends a three-point shot, they want him to run down the floor, use his size to get an early post-up. That's actually by design, right? And I think, if he's near the rim, yes, he's going to go for rebounds or whatnot, he's not going to leak out. But if he's around the perimeter, because he's going to guard mostly fours, which means he's, like against the Thunder, he's guarding Williams or Dort. And if one of those guys shoots a three, that's a leak out for him. And that's an early post up against a mismatch is really kind of that thought process. So I like that that's what they're doing with him. Now they got to figure out how to pass him the ball. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of frustration with me talking to you guys about not being able to enter the ball in the post with Victor. So that's going to be annoying. But yeah, guys, like that was a fun one. I thought Chet showed some stuff there, some nice stuff off the dribble. There was definitely plays where he would grab the rebound and he ran the point and ran the offense and would make plays off the dribble and things like that. He's going to need more than just one dribble spin move, though. Right? Like, he needs to add to his game, his offensive repertoire in that sense. More than just, hey, one dribble, spin move back to where I came from, easy bucket. So I think those are the things I want to see from Chet. But, guys, what are the questions you got? Demo, I think this is going to be a fun matchup. I think we're going to have this for a long time. And then bring in Cooper Flagg in the league in a year or two. Like, it gets really interesting. What else you guys got? I'm going to peruse Twitter, see if anything's dropped. Anything I need to know of on notifications. See if Harden got traded yet. Nothing on that front. All right, guys. I think we're winding down here, huh? Any more questions? I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a morning show. Tomorrow I'm looking to probably come on around 10 a.m. So expect that a little bit earlier tomorrow. This will be up on YouTube. If you came late, you can check it there. You can watch it on video on demand on Twitch. And go from there. If you like what you saw and you're new here, go ahead and just give me a follow. If you really love it, go ahead and subscribe. I don't think there'll be a catastrophe, Hudson. I just think they're going to be a bit overrated. They have too much talent. Tomorrow we're doing awards, Gatto. Tomorrow's the award show. Got to go through it tonight and put it all together. But tomorrow will be the award show. But Hudson, they have too much talent to just be completely a catastrophe. All right, folks. I think that's it. Thank you so much for coming through, everybody. See you guys tomorrow.